Hello, beautiful souls, and thank you so much for joining us for another beautiful episode of the Pet Lover Summit. Today, I have an amazing bonus speaker with us called Dr. Alan Schoen. And the title today is C.A.L.M, Calm, empowering you to bring joy into your family and the world. And I'm going to read Dr. Alan Schoen's bio. Dr. Schoen is one of the pioneers in holistic integrative veterinary medicine. He has been acknowledged by his peers as one of the 15 most influential veterinarians in North America for his contributions to veterinarian medicine. His contributions include textbooks on veterinary acupuncture and complementary and alternative veterinarian medicine, as well as books introducing animal lovers to natural animal health care and the human and animal bond. In addition to having the largest holistic integrative veterinary referral practice for both small animals and horses, he was also a clinical assistant professor at Colorado State University College of Veterinary Medicine and Tufts University School of Veterinary Medicine. He has lectured worldwide on his approach. His practice offered a holistic, integrative approach to animal health care. With over 40 years of clinical experience, research, and teaching, Dr. Schoen has developed his own unique approach to integrating various holistic natural therapies for your animal companions, both equine and small animal. The therapies offered included acupuncture, veterinary chiropractic care, nutrition, nutritional supplements, botanical medicine, herbs, homeopathy, and mind-body medicine, among others. Dr. Schoen feels that loving kindness and compassion are also integral
Yeah.
component of healing process for all beings. I was just thinking, darn, I'm doing so well. Thank you. Welcome, Dr.
The mind
Schoen.
gets in the way.
My brain just took off. Okay. Thank you so much for being here and spending time with us today. Tell us about the acronym C.A.L.M. What does it mean and how can we utilize it to help empower ourselves?
Well, that's a great question, Alina. And it came to me, CALM came to me actually, oddly enough, in a dream. And I woke up and I heard introduce CALM to, I was on the Awake TV. I had a TV show on Awake TV, a number of years back. And it came to me, introduce CALM to your audience. And I spoke to that voice, spoke back and said, what's CALM? And I heard what I call one of my Alanisms, the cosmic chuckle. And it said,
yes.
You'll find out. And next day in a dream, I heard CALM is the acronym for the Conscious Animal Lovers Movement.
Wow.
And that's how it got created. So I put it out there on my Awake TV show called Awakening with Your Animal Family. And people started contacting me saying, how do I become a member and what's the details and this and that? You can go to my website and let me know that you'd like to be part of CALM. But essentially what CALM is in the muddle of the last 5, 6, 7 years with all the changes in the universe, it's kind of like the evolution of my career of pioneering holistic integrative approaches to help animals. And I went through a little bit of a muddle, another Alanism about what else can I do? And I saw these possibilities, like I was invited to become and have my own department, and have my own building at a university. I was invited to create an animal hospital for alternative cancer therapies in Manhattan. All these, whatever came to my mind showed up. And in that, I took a step back and I say, well, with this human body and mind, how can I be of the most benefit to the animal world?
Yes.
And that, again, that's how CALM showed up. And it's a movement. It's a conscious animal lovers movement. And what's envisioned is that it's a collection bring all animal lovers throughout the entire world together to create and co-create a loving community of consciousness, of conscious animal lovers who all want to make the world more harmonious, happier, and healthier for all beings. And over the decades, I'd get so many emails from people, and especially in the last few years, saying, we really want to do that, but we feel helpless in the midst of all the kerfuffles that are unfolding.
Yes.
And so I felt guided to like, well, let's bring them all in and show them they can be empowered by being in this community. And the community is currently forming, and I have many different ideas on it. And there's what I talk about are the 7 pillars of CALM that, you know, at first I presented it to veterinarians, and in order for them to get continuing education, it had to be science-based. So I came up with the 7 pillars of CALM, which are 7 science-based pillars that give it a foundation based in modern day science.
Okay.
So, and that's what I talk about and lecture about and everything everywhere now are the 7 pillars of CALM.
And what are, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go on.
I was just going to ask you, what are the 7 pillars of CALM? It sounds like you're headed that way anyway.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, the foundation pillar number 1 is based on the findings of heart math. And the heart, people can look up the Heart Math Institute, and they create the science of what's behind our hearts and feeling our hearts. And they presented, and they've done great studies, and they're phenomenal. I can't say enough things about heart math. And that's pillar 1. And so when someone says, well, I'd like to become an ambassador of CALM, I want to share it in the world, I say, okay, well, here, and they go, what's next, or what are the steps? And I say, here are the steps. First one is to study everything from heart math. And then I go through different things, but I send you to heart math to do that. And
yes,
7 pillars, like with heart math or something, I add the thing, it's coherence versus dissonance. So it's coherence in the heart and coherence. So I call it heart math coherence. So after you read that, study everything from heart math, you go into that. Then there's the unified field. Well, there's mind body medicine is pillar 2. And that takes like decades of study that I did at Harvard Medical School and different courses I took on the impact of mind body medicine, the journey from your mind to your heart and connecting that. Or as the Dalai Lama has said, the longest journey we'll ever take is not out there to Greece or to Australia or something. It's from our mind to our heart and back.
True.
And that's really true. So the second is mind body medicine and the science behind that. Then the third pillar is they're numbered in there, but another pillar is the neuroscience of the human animal bond and science human animal bond, because people, like in my cat books, Kindred Spirits, I started introducing that, but there's so much more research showing the release of different neurochemicals and chemicals like oxytocin, bonding, and those are superficial things, but it's important to know that. So that's another pillar. And another pillar is the unified field theory of consciousness. And the latest on that is presented by Nassim Harriman. So when people go through and say, I'm ready for this pillar, I send them to Nassim Harriman's website. None of this is original. The combination of all of them is original and focused on animal lovers, because everyone's just doing it and showing the proof. But because of my background and seeing everything, I said, what about animal lovers? They want to do something. Here are the things that we can do. this is what we can do. So, and then there's the coherence, compassionate coherence. And I take it from Dr. Karen Armstrong, who is a professor of comparative religions at Princeton University. And she presented an award-winning TED Talk on compassion. She has compassionate cities and this and that. And I took it, I live on an island. And I said the compassionate islands, because we're a physical entity that's more concentrated so people can do it. Whereas in a city, there's so many other interests, it gets lost. It's a title, but it isn't followed. But living on an island, you can do it. And I created the Compassionate Islands movement.
Beautiful.
But that's one of the other pillars is people go, well, I feel empathy or compassion for all the animals suffering and all the good and the connections and everything. Well, what do you do about it? Well, here's in that pillar is the science behind compassion. And that keeps on evolving and changing. Just recently, well, years ago, I participated in a think tank in Garrison, New York, at an institute on the science behind all of this. And in that think tank, it was a combination of some Rinpoche's Buddhist teachers showing the science behind meditation from their perspective, and then a bunch of quantum physicists and neuroscientists showing it from the scientific perspective. And there, Richie Davidson, Dr. Richie Davidson, who's the head of the University of Wisconsin Neuroscience Lab and the Mind Body Institute, he along with the Dalai Lama. And I just heard a new talk by Richie Davidson in the last week, 2 weeks, on some of the latest research they did in the Compassion Summit, which is also available that they can see online. And it shows the neuroscience of compassion, that when you focus on compassion in your mind and your heart, your mind actually changes. Yeah. And you become happier and healthier. And there was other research I wrote about previous books on that, but they're updating it with even more research now. So it is all science-based. This isn't a bunch of woo-woo from an old-time hippie or anything. This is real. And then I had the neuroscience of the human animal bond, neuroscience of compassion, and the coherence and everything. And finally, and then I'm adding some other pillars on sound coherence, that how important it is to be in a vibrational field of coherence and the difference and dissonance or lack of coherence. Coherence is this, dissonance is this. And when we fill our life with distractions and just live in this world that's impacted by electromagnetic fields and this and that, we're in dissonance. But the CALM movement brings coherence between us and other animal lovers and our animals. So it shares different ways that you can bring that coherence between you and your animal family in your house, and then empowers you that you can take it from your house to, you know, when I talk to veterinarians, to your animal hospital, to the clients, to the community. And each, you know, one of my visions is that every animal hospital can become a field of coherence and a community of conscious animal lovers. So all the clients there want that, you know, and then that they bring that to their community, and it fills their community with the feeling of, you know, the awareness of consciousness connecting us all. And then the last pillar is becoming an ambassador of CALM. And that's saying, I'm ready to do this. I want to do this. I want to bring this to my community, my family, my friends, myself, you know, and how do I become an ambassador? And it's going through all the different pillars. And then at the end, I have you write a paper and do a blog or a video about how you are integrating it into your life and your community and your either animal hospital or your profession, whatever it is. So
Beautiful.
that
That
is
is amazing.
yeah, that's a culmination of over 40 years of practicing holistic medicine and just like asking the ultimate or a deep question of what else can I do? What else can I do? And the universe showed me so many different things. But I said, well, that's
Mhm.
limited. That's limited. And they went, okay, if you're really ready, this is what. And boom,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
unfolding.
That is absolutely amazing. And I really appreciate, I actually do trauma work. So I absolutely know what you're talking about with the evidence-based science. Just for example, you're talking about when you focus on compassion, it changes your brain. It actually creates new neurotransmitters and the brain fires differently. It
Yeah.
actually brings people out of depression. There are so many ways. And I love that it's quantum physics and spirituality and science are all coming together to prove that what the sages have known for thousands of years really is true.
Absolutely. It's documenting the
Yes,
ancient traditions in terms and language that our scientific world requires these days. So
totally.
where, like I grew up as an idealistic animal lover, then I went
Yes,
to Cornell, the top veterinary school in the world at the time, and was programmed down to here's
right.
science and this is what you need to do. And I
Hmm.
kept on saying to my professors and different, what about the feeling of it? What about,
Right.
all of that? And they go, here we learn the science. And it was
Hmm.
great. I'm not putting it down. I needed that. And
Yeah, for sure.
the scientific foundation was great for me. But then my first dog after vet school, who I dedicate my books to, Megan, I adopted her. She was a stray, loaded with heartworms, about to die. This up in New Hampshire, where almost every dog had heartworm at that time. And I looked her in the eye and I looked at her cells on the microscope, and she had more heartworms in her blood than blood cells. And I said,
Wow.
normally you would die like this, but I'll treat you. And if you make it, I'll keep you. Well, she did make it. But I had to keep
Amazing.
her with me all the time to keep her quiet, while
Hmm.
all the dead heartworms were, baby worms were being absorbed. And
Hmm. Wow.
so she would come with me on emergencies to cow barns, horse barns, this and that. And she would immediately find the animal that needed the most love and we'd go over there and start licking them and kissing them. And I looked at her on the way back from one emergency call at like 2 a.m. And funny enough, we were driving over a mountain called Temple Mountain at the time. And
Yeah.
I looked and I said, what's this? Like I delivered the calf from this cow and I did all the stuff I learned in vet
Right.
school and at night. But in the meantime, you went around to kiss the mother while she was giving birth and
Oh.
kiss the girl who was born the same day as the cow. And you were giving them pure love. And she just looked at me and she goes, yeah, that's the other part. So she was my reminder
Hello.
at vet
Yeah.
school of bringing that back in.
Hmm. That's amazing. She was truly an ambassador for the
And
heart.
yeah.
Hmm.
And I think with all the kerfuffles going on in the universe right now, in the world, and all the things that living beings have been through in the last couple of years,
Yeah.
is one of the answers. It's the answer for animal lovers. This is the way
Hmm.
back to empower you that you're not helpless. You can make a change in the world. And through C.A.L.M, we can create this community and do it. And if,
Yes.
that's really what I want to, is the next step in my career, my profession, because I don't see clients anymore. I don't, I said, how
Hmm.
can I be of the greatest service while I'm still in this body? And that's what
Hmm.
came to me.
I love that. That is absolutely amazing. Choosing collective consciousness and empowering people to use their heart, and backing it up by all the science so that we can help animals and the planet, as you said, and the planet. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was the other, there were other pillars in there, and planetary coherence. And I give the connections of planetary coherence and the science behind it, and what other impacts there are on us, creating planetary dissonance and global and galactic dissonance, and the dance between creating galactic dissonance and galactic coherence. For animal lovers, CALM is the way to go. Say, I'd like to be part of the coherence rather than the dissonance.
Okay. Yeah, that's amazing.
One of the cliches I use when I give retreats is, we fill our life with distraction until we die, unless we wake up. And anything can be a distraction or an opportunity to wake up. But most humans go for distraction. And CALM is a way to bring us back into attraction, opportunity for coherence, and to make a really major difference on this planet and bring animals and humans, the human-animal bond, into a coherent field. That's
beautiful. Now I'm gonna have you just recite your website in a minute, but you had just mentioned that you had mentioned in your books, and I noticed in your bio you don't have anything about being an author. Did you want to speak a little bit about some of the books you've written?
I didn't realize that. Yeah, I've written 7 books, and I'm presently writing another one about all of this and about CALM and how to do it. And that hasn't come out yet, but it will be. It's in process.
Awesome.
I took a earlier formation of CALM in an earlier, before it formed into CALM, and for horse lovers. And that is in the book called The Compassionate Equestrian, which I co-wrote with a holistic horse trainer, Susan, Susan Gordon. So that's the last book, but there are a total of 7 books. What I did, they started out with, I needed to bring the science to veterinarians. So it started out as a book called Problems in Veterinary Medicine. And then the editor of those says, this should be a full book text. So he connected me, and we ended up doing the first textbook in English in the US on veterinary acupuncture.
Yes. All right.
And then it evolved into the 2nd edition and the 3rd, kept on evolving, and with different publishers, as different publishers got eaten up by other publishers. So then I provided, here's the science for veterinarians. So you have it, but then what about an audience? So then one of my clients, who I saved his dog when everyone else had given up on it, and after I was doing acupuncture and herbs with it, it got better.
Yes. Beautiful.
When the top universities in the East Coast said, forget it, that's impossible, we can do a kidney transplant. It was after a vaccine reaction and everything. And this is back in 1994 or so. And but anyway, the dog got better with acupuncture and herbs. And then his owner went, and he said, I'm a writer and my agent would like to talk to you, because he puts people together who are too busy to tell their story to someone else, and they put it into a book. So that was my first book, Love, Miracles, and Animal Healing. And that was beautiful. Present the science and the spirituality. I mean, the subtitles, the journey from science to spirituality for animal lovers, essentially. And it brought that together. And then my next book for the public was called Kindred Spirits, How the Remarkable Bond Between Humans and Animals Can Change the Way You Live. And I presented that, let's say I did a book tour for that in 2001. So it came out in 2001, the beginning, before everything changed. And, you know, that was through a subsidiary of Random House. It was Broadway Random House. And
Mhm.
they sent me on a 32 city book and PBS special tour that I went on for all of that. So that's where I presented the latest in science and the spirit of the human animal bond up till then. And then I've updated it. And now with this new book, I'm updating it to include CALM and other experiences that I've had within the last year even.
Dr. Alan Schoen, what is your website and how can people join the CALM movement?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I get off on tangents. I told you.
I'm on you.
Yeah.
We got it.
So the website is, oddly enough, www.drschoen, DRSCHOEN.com. And
Beautiful.
you can
And
learn
there's going to
about.
be a link below for everybody who's interested. In the description, there'll be a link. You can click it.
So email me and say, yes, I'd love to be on, like to know more about CALM. I'd like to become a CALM ambassador, and I'll email you back.
Perfect. Perfect.
So, yeah.
Oh, amazing. I have really enjoyed our talk today. Thank you so much. It was so enlightening and so helpful. I really know that our viewers are going to truly enjoy all the information that you're bringing to us. And I want to just let you know that from my heart, I really do appreciate you and honor you. Thank you so much for being part of the Pet Lovers Summit.